Welcome to my channel, Hammond's Hobbies. Today I'm going to be showing you off something that I've been working on for the last couple of months, and it's finally got to the end of it, so I thought I'd share that with you guys today. Let's get right into it. So before we get into today's main topic, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that obviously smashes up the like button, and also to anyone that's new here and subscribed. Welcome to the channel. Also, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all with the name Hammond's Hobbies. So feel free to reach out to me. Just on a little side note, someone reached out to me the other day and said, Glenn, I only got into F1 collecting cards because of you, and I watched your YouTube videos, specifically the F1 Lights Out series. And because of that, he took part in a box break, and he's just pulled a Lewis Hamilton 1 of 2 Dynasty 2021. So he's literally smashed it. So well done to him. If any of you want to ever reach out to me and ask for advice, tips, or anything like that, feel free to get hold of me. Right, let's get into today's main video. And what I have for you here is a Topps Chrome Purple Master Set. Now, I have to sort of put some caveats into this straight away, some little asterisks. I've been working on this for a couple of months, and I managed to get hold of about 150 to 180 of these cards with the thanks of someone called Kirk, so thank you very much, Kirk, for that. Then there was the rest of the cards. The rest of the cards were quite expensive, so I knew that I wasn't in a position to complete this set. But someone contacted me and said, Glenn, I'd be willing to fund you getting the rest of the cards, putting it all together, and then sell me the whole thing. So I've middlemanned this whole set, if you like. He approached me, he actually asked me several times, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But in the end, I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So we both come to an agreement on how much this complete set would be worth, and here it is for you today. Now, before I show you this set, he himself, the person that I collaborated with to get this, he has 5 of the cards himself. So there's 5 cards missing from this whole 200 card set. So I'm saying that before I start showing you it. They're only sort of like the lower end cards, but it's just annoying that I couldn't get them here for this video. Maybe once I deliver it to him and we put the cards in, I'll take a video of it completed and show you guys. But this is in collaboration with someone else, so I won't actually have this set as of the end of today, so it's really sad. But I am working on my own personal complete set, which I'm about, I would say out of 200, I've already got about 80, so I'm about 120 away. So if you've got any purple cards, reach out to me, because, you know, I'm looking at buying. So let's get right into it and have a look at this set. I thought before I let it go, I have to get it on video. I have to show the world what this set looks like. Now, in the future, this set may be a 30, 40k set, depending on whether Lewis retires, other people win the world title, yada yada yada. This could be a 30, 40 grand, and I don't think that's unachievable. So let's get right into it and have a look at this amazing set. This set really does look beautiful. Now, I would estimate that this is worth currently £15,000, which is about $20,000. But I see it going up from that. But let's have a little look at why I think this set is so special. So these are obviously the main drivers. I've shown you sets of Chrome, I've shown you sets of Sapphire from 2020. They're in exactly the same order and they're exactly the same images. So we won't go too much into like each and every image, how they look and stuff, because you can go back and watch my Sapphire video or something like that. But what we will talk about is the odds and the actual collection itself as a whole. Now, these purple cards came out obviously in Chrome 2020. You got so many per box of opening, obviously Chrome 2020. I believe the odds were about 6 per box, which obviously per case, that means that in a case you're getting around 55 to 60 something ish, and there's obviously 200 in a whole set. So you would have needed to have cracked open about 4 cases, which currently is worth like silly money. But obviously once they get out there in the wild, people sell them, some are worth more than others, and yada yada yada. But what they are is they are numbered cards. So these are numbered, if I show you the back of them, out of 399. So the most they ever printed of this image was 399. Now that's quite a lot, but that means that for a complete set like this, the most there can ever be in the whole world is 400. That's if everyone got together and shared out all the cards evenly. So it's obviously never going to happen. So, I mean, I would estimate that there's only probably, I would say, less than 100 sets of this. I estimate that there's probably 25 to 50 complete sets like this of all purples from the whole set. That's my opinion. I may be completely off, but I can't imagine that there's more than 100 of them out there. So this is something that I would say that is rare. It's rarer. Now, obviously you can get golds, you can get reds, you can get oranges, you can get the 70th edition. But this is something that is probably achievable for most people. So the most expensive card being the Lewis Hamilton, currently as of recording this video, this is going for about £1,250. So say $1,500, $1,600. Then the next most expensive card is Max Verstappen, which I can't remember the last solds off the top of my head, but I believe it's in the region of $700. Then you got Charles Leclerc. I believe I picked this one up for about $250, $300. So if he wins the title, that will probably be worth a lot more. Obviously, if Lewis retires in the next couple of years, I think that's going to go up in value. And I think if Max wins another world title, or he continues to dominate like he is, he's probably going to be on par with Lewis Hamilton. So you can see how very quickly there's going to be a couple of grand added to this set already. That's why I believe it's going to be worth a lot more in the future. There's all your drivers. Then we go on to the next page. On this next page, the same as like the Sapphires that I showed you, the most expensive card on this set is George Russell. He's obviously just signed for Mercedes. He's currently at Mercedes as of recording this video. Whereas a lot of these people on this second page, Antonio Giovinazzi's not in F1 currently. He didn't make the cut for this year. He's a test driver. Kimi Raikkonen's retired. Kevin Magnussen did leave after this set, and Roman Grosjean was caught in that fire and he burnt his arm and hand, so he's gone to American racing. Perez has gone to Red Bull, and Lance Stroll obviously stayed at that team, which has now become Aston Martin. So actually a lot of the people on this page are no longer racing actually in F1. Kevin Magnussen is though. He came back surprisingly after Nikita Mazepin got booted, obviously with the war with Ukraine and Russia, and obviously him being a Russian billionaire. So yeah, so George Russell is the most expensive card on this set. Then we move on to obviously the car cards. There's one of every single driver. I love the way that obviously Chrome is laid out. I love that it's obviously 20 drivers, then you got the 20 cars. So we move on from them, and if you look at the way they shimmer, they just look beautiful, especially in like low lit. If you start shining big lights on these, it doesn't do it justice. You have to sort of like get them in a low lit. That's why I've dimmed all my lights down a bit, because the way they shimmer in this light just looks beautiful. Then we move on to obviously the end of those 20 cars for the F1 drivers, and we move on to the F2 drivers. Now these guys, there's quite a few in here that potentially, this is why I think this set will continue to rise. There's obviously quite a few F2 drivers here that may make the cut for F1 over the next year, 2 years. And we saw this specifically with Zhou Yongyu, and he went from, his card was worth nothing. I mean, you could pick his autograph gold Ray Wave for 80 quid. Soon as he got signed and they said he's going to Alfa Romeo, you'd be lucky to get it. And at the time when the hype was going on, his autograph card was going for well over £1,000. I don't know what they're going for currently at the moment, but you can see there that when I sort of talk about this set going from like £15,000 to like 30,000, you may think, oh, Glenn's living in La La Land, but it wouldn't take a lot for, say, Callum Elliott to all of a sudden join Ferrari or something, I don't know, or Mercedes, and then just so happen they're in a dominant car that year and he goes on to win the world title. Well, this card then becomes a potential £700 to £1,000 card. So like we've seen with Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. So then all of a sudden these will always be worth whatever they're worth. If anything, they're probably going to go up. Then you've obviously got these guys coming up. Now this is evident in, like I say, Zhou Yongyu and also Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda. and Nikita Mazepin. So out of these two pages here, you may think, oh, F2 drivers, they're a bit boring, but actually that's probably where your biggest potential earner is at. Everyone chases Lewis, everyone chases Max, but they're already at the top end of the thing. But you can pick these up, and especially in the 2021 set and flagship, you can pick all of these guys up for 10p, 25p, 50p, £1 a card. But potentially one day, if they get signed for a team, their card then jumps up massively. So that's your biggest potential there, in my opinion. Then we have, obviously, like I say, Mick Schumacher. We've got, obviously, Nikita Mazepin, which has now been evicted from F1. And then Yuki Tsunoda, which is racing for AlphaTauri. And there's none really else that really stand out to me. You've got an Australian F2 driver this year, which has just dominated, but he didn't make it into this set, which is Pistauri. And the other one that people are chasing are, at the moment, it seems like Christian Lundgaard is very popular, which that's this guy here. So that seems to be a very pop card. So I don't know if maybe there's rumours of him getting signed for F1 in the near future. Then after the F2 drivers, Atkin, he's another popular one as well. After the F2 drivers, you have them in exactly the same order, but in their car cards. So this set is very symmetrical. It's very, there's an order, or it seems to be a very nicely organised set. 2021, on the other hand, I think is all over the place, but we'll move on to that another day. So after the F2 drivers, then we start with the F1 team bosses. So these are all your team bosses that you may see talking on Drive to Survive and making big decisions. Some of them have got two. I'm not sure why, but you've got 2 Alfa Romeos, you've got 2 Red Bulls, 2 McLarens, and 2 Mercedes. The rest have all just got 1 card each, so I don't quite understand what happened there. I assume some people got the boot, so they didn't make the cut for this year's cards. Then obviously we go to this end card here, and then there's a Formula 1 7-time world champion card for Lewis Hamilton. This is a really cool looking card, actually. I like this card. Then after that, it moves on to the F2 teams. Now, something that I have mentioned in my Sapphire set, I wish they had done this style of image for these ones in particular, for F1 teams. These are shots of the car coming into the pits and then changing the tyres. I wish they'd done this for the F1 teams, because I think this is a really awesome looking image. If I can show you there, so you can see the pit crew. So it really shows like a decent amount of the team. There could be more in there, obviously, but you know, it's a really cool team card anyway. I'd like to see some more team cards like that, especially in the newer sets, where it shows off all the mechanics and the maybe the strategists and stuff like that. Then after the F2 teams, we move on to the team badges. Now this page, obviously, because it is predominantly purple and the logos are fairly small inside it, it looks awesome. It's like really nice and shiny. It really sort of hits you, it really pops. So I really like this. Now, one of the cards that are missing from me is the Ferrari team badge. The person that I'm doing this collab with, he already had the Ferrari badge and it's at his property. So, you know, I'm hoping that we can get together and I can show you a video of this complete set with this filled in, but that's one of the cards that are missing. So we've got obviously all the F1 teams, obviously there's 10 of them. Then you've got the F2 teams. Then we move on to the race wins. So again, I've said this in the past, I like this format because it actually tells the story of the year. So you can clearly see Bottas was the first winner of that year, 2020. He won the first race, then Lewis won the next 2, then Bottas after. So you can see it was heavily dominated by Mercedes. Then we see obviously the Red Bulls coming back, and then we see Ferrari dominance for a little bit. Then it goes back to Mercedes. So it tells the story of the whole year. I really like that. After the Grand Prix winners, then you go on to the driver of the day. So this is slightly different because they didn't win nothing. They just got voted as the most popular driver of that day. Now, people vote normally, obviously, if they feel, say, if Lance Stroll done really well, but he crashed out at the end. unto his fault, he could still win driver of the day. But we see a lot of Max and Charles. These two seem to be the most popular drivers, hence why I think when Lewis retires, these are going to be your biggest chasers, personally, with George Russell as well and Lando Norris. Then we have obviously the rest of the driver of the days. Like I say, a lot, basically this whole page is either Max or Charles Leclerc with one Lando Norris in it. So it just shows you how popular these guys were. We have a few different ones here. We have Sebastian Vettel, then Bottas, and then we move on to back to Red Bull. Then we have their alternative image. So Lewis with the thumbs up is the most expensive one out of this sort of like little set, if you like. But it's a shot of each driver, more of an action shot rather than them posing for the camera. It's just them sort of either at the race or in a car or with their helmet on. It's more action shots, which I really like. I love this, obviously, this Russell with the red helmet with the blue and white. Obviously, it almost looks like the British flag there. So that's probably one of my favourite cards on this page especially. And then we move on to the last and final page. Obviously, the biggest draws here. This card here is another one that the guy that I'm collabing with has already. So this is the Mercedes winning title championship card. And then obviously you have Hamilton and Bottas working together, and then Hamilton winning the world title. And then we move on to the freshest, which obviously these three, what a set to have. You've got Alex Albon, Lando Norris and George Russell, and I would consider these as not their like number one rookie cards, but probably the most popular and most expensive rookie cards. There's a couple of F1 Tops Now cards that probably would beat these in terms of price, but I think going forward, these are them in the chrome set saying freshest because they're fresh into the sport, and it's another portrait shot of them. So I think if one of these guys go on to win a world title, these will very well received in terms of appreciation, along with obviously their portrait card as well. So you say if Lando wins the title in this set, you would add double bubble because that card would go up massively in value, and so would that card. So again, another reason why I think this set will go up. So that's it. That is the end of the set. That's all 200 cards, bar a couple that were missing there. We have got, but unfortunately I just couldn't get them all in one location at one time for you guys to show you on video, but I thought I wouldn't be doing it you guys justice if I didn't share this with you now. I just got impatient, so I may include a little video clip at the end of this with once I've sat there and put them all together with once I meet the guy that I'm selling these to, so that you can see it in its entirety. But this is the set. That's my opinion of it. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. In terms of this year's Chrome 2021, in terms of comparing these purple cards to this year's set, this is 2020. You can see there's no border, there's no edge, there's just this bar here. But it's a big portrait shot of each and every driver. I think this looks really cool. These, on the other hand, 2021, I don't like as much. They're purple, but they're just purple around the edge. The actual image in the middle is exactly the same colour as it would be on a chrome or a flagship. So it's really just this purple edge, which I don't like as much. But these are also out of 399. You can see there. And then they also, just to make things more confusing, they released another purple set for 2021, which is multicolored. So this is purple and green. You can see this green border going all the way around. So they've chose green and purple. But these are not numbered. So if anyone tries to sell you a Chrome 2021 where there's two colors, so that's I think golden red or golden purple maybe together or something like that, and then you've got purple and green, and then I think there's orange and something. If they've got two colours on it like this, that means they're not numbered. So that means in theory there's an unlimited print run of these, whereas obviously this, we know there's only 400 or 399 of these in the world. So these are a better chase than those, but if you compare them to last year's ones, I think you can agree there that as hands down there's no competition. This this purple is, I think, superior to this purple. That's my opinion. I know some of you are going to get upset by that. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I want to spark conversation. Make sure you like this video. I want to try and get as many eyes on F1 card collectibles as much as possible. Make sure if you're new to this channel, click subscribe. Well, we're going to be doing some giveaways in the future, so make sure you tick the little bell notification so you're notified when I upload a video. And you can also contact me through my social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all with the name Hammond's Hobbies. If you've got any questions regarding any set, I pretty much know all of them. Feel free, reach out, get in touch with me. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.